Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another installment of 97 to Infinity, and we have a WNBA schedule, but no CPA. Let's talk about it, y'all. What in the confusion? If I had $1 for every person that goes to me for the WNBA information that texts me was like, "Oh, they signed a CBA," and I was like, "Yeah, nah, they just released the schedule." I don't know if that happened to y'all, but that happened to me enough times that I was like, W, what are we doing? I feel like I get now. Here's the thing. I will say this: people are trying to, well, they gotta, get dates in the line. I feel like you could get dates in the line and still wait at least another month and see if you get the CBA negotiations to get a little better for you release a schedule. Because all it did is just make it look weird. Where some people were like, "Oh, they figured it out." I was like, "Actually, no. So why are we getting a schedule then?" And I was like, "I can't tell you, but we got a schedule."
I thought I was tripping. Like, did the old email pop up? Like, did my email like get reconfigured or something? Because that's diabolical. Like, you could have kept the dates in the back end, did what you do in the back end, but until these players signed a new CBA, why you releasing, getting our hopes up? Then we're like, oh, so they signed. No. So we
Well,
have. It's terrible.
there's a
I,
reason for it.
Oh yes, Gabby, let the world know your theory. I think you're cooking with this one.
So now that the schedule's released, it puts a lot of public pressure on the players because, people are booking travel to go to these games. They're buying season tickets or just tickets in general. And the thing is, like, if there's no season, they don't really necessarily get those season ticket like deposits or money back. So it's just like puts so much pressure on the players, and we've talked about it a little bit, but they are so stressed and they keep voicing that. Multiple players have voiced it by now, and I don't blame them, especially the fact that most of them are playing. So they're playing all day, practicing or have games, and then they go home and have to deal with it still. So, and like they're really trying, obviously.
My whole thing with that is like I get you, people want to travel and you want them to book their buy tickets and book flights but at the same time, isn't this you say it's for the fans, but how you going to make them buy stuff and book stuff and you truly don't even know you have a season? Are you going to reimburse them? Who's going to give them this money?
Now, as much as I feel like Gabby's cooking with that theory, and I think their intent was a power move, I actually think the putting the schedule out puts more pressure on the organization itself. And I say that because if you end up locking out, and it's kind of publicly known right now that the lockout is pretty much on them not giving the players what they want. It's just going to make them look even more worse, especially when in another sport entirely. And you ask me, in this country anyway, I'm pretty sure basketball is a lot bigger than soccer. When the NWSL finds a way to give Trinity her mill, I think it just makes them look worse this week. Especially when most people, when they figured, oh, they have a CBA, and it's like, no. And then most people's response was, their next response was just like, yeah, but why is there
A
no
season.
C yeah, why is there a schedule when there's no CBA? So to
Yeah.
me, it's like I think it puts more pressure back on them because you now have people putting their money into. I assume there's going to be a season. I also know people who are like, I'm gonna wait till they sign CBA to buy tickets anyway. So I feel like all it really did was just keep putting pressure because this is pretty much a Western standoff. This negotiation, like it's not a negotiation, respectfully, and all it did,
Mhm.
in my opinion, was just put more pressure on the entire situation for someone to fold. And even though the owners are trying to be cheap and not pay, at the end of the day, I was like, you're giving them half and still getting half would be way better than getting nothing if you lock out. So at the end of the day, like these money hungry people are gonna fold at some point, in my opinion. I just feel like they're trying to like get the players to just cave in first before they initially just go, you know what, here, please, just let's get this going now. Like I think in their minds is a date where like by this time, if they have not caved, we're just gonna give them what they want so we can have a season.
Because they're thinking about money.
Yeah. I mean, that whole TV deal don't cash in if they ain't no nothing to broadcast. So
That's
at
true.
some point they have like at some point someone's gonna have to cave. And I think we'll touch on this a little more later, but I want to first what Tasha Cloud said with Unrivaled, they're like technically like in theory, like they're like we can keep this going, like while we wait for them to get their stuff together. And also at the end of the day, these players could always all just go back overseas.
Mhm.
So I feel like the pressure's on the owners more than than they let people on to. And I think they're just trying to get them to like almost like trying to psych them out into it's almost like in like anything with negotiating per se is you always like try to shoot low or high depending on which side you're on. So I think they're just trying to like get them to try to cave in early before they initially have to kind of sort of cave into their demands and make it work.
I
That's
gotcha.
true.
That's just my
It,
theory though. I don't got much else.
it's just, I just can't believe it. Like, as if I was a player, I'd be like, "Play now you're really playing in my face."
That's
You,
what you see. I know we all saw with Asia had Asia's all her tweets like that. Most players like, yeah, this is really just playing in our face now, which it is, and to that,
it
it's
is. It's like,
literally
what?
insanity.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying. Like, if you wanted to keep the dates, you just could have kept that in the background. You didn't have to release the schedule.
yeah, it's
And I
just adding
know,
so much drama.
like, for what? And it's like, okay, so now you really think we're playing.
Right?
So you really think I'm an idiot? Okay.
Think it's a game? Like, nah.
No,
Well,
No, that's really
seriously.
what they're at. Like, it's wicked.
It's like you're playing not only with my money, my body, my mental, everything. You want to keep
My
playing? All right,
time,
we're gonna
sure.
stand on business too. You don't want to give us what we want. We're in position to act on what we want to act on. Period.
mhm.
And we're gonna keep making money regardless if we're making money from you. Now you're missing out on money while we're still growing and making money
Tell
because you
them.
want to play in our faces. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Stop trying to run stuff. Be a together league. Stop trying to run things. Be money hungry. And shut up sometimes and listen.
She says, "Stop trying to run things."
And
Yo.
shut up sometimes.
No, because, like, what are they doing? What are you doing?
No, see, you're so right. It's just the way you said it that has me crying. She said,
What
"Stop
are
trying to
you?
run things." No,
That's
but like
like,
what? But what are they doing? And I tell you, I think it's just for because I'm not like a greedy rich person. It's easy for me to be like, "Come on, y'all, just cave in. What are we doing?" But I guess in their minds too, and this is something I thought about as we've talked about this a lot for the NBA or the I guess the brother to the W. For them, the W for a long time was definitely a write off on their taxes. And I think the issue now is making some money. And they're like, well, wait, if y'all gonna make some money, we want to get money back. But as C pointed out very well last week, this was y'all investment. You're supposed to put the money in and then watch it grow and slowly get your money back. You're not supposed to just put
want
this
your money
in.
back, and as
Yeah,
soon as it grows, you want
you
it
pretty
right
much you
away.
gave a loan. Like you respectfully, you gave a loan. You don't just give the money and be like, I want all back right now. Like that's not how that works. That's not how it works in the slightest. And I feel like they all forgot that out of nowhere, and they were like, oh, like word, pay up. And it's like, nah, no, that's not how that works. Like you're
Use
supposed
it as
to.
an investment. You invested in the woman for it to
Yeah,
grow, and
no.
that's it. Period.
Also, too, when you are, and even in that, even in the, we're trying to play the whole like, we try to get our money back. This is they literally have moved the most games to a bigger stadium than any other year before. And before them little people in the comments show up talking about one particular person, technically they moved less fever games to bigger stadiums than they did last year. But they've moved more games in general, which proves the theory that this game is growing and they're making more money that they're trying to act like they're not. Hear me out, gang. They're just being greedy, and that's
Well,
why
we all know
necessary.
they're making more money. Like, do they think like we're
No, that
dogs
like I,
with no brains?
No, that's
Like,
exactly what they think.
they
That's
yeah
exactly what they think.
they.
It's not do no, that's exactly what they
seems
As he
think.
like
said,
it's
they play it in your
them.
face. Like they just
Seems
all up
like
in your
it's
face, just
them who don't
playing.
have who have rocks for
Brains.
brains.
Because why aren't you realizing
Rocks for
that these
brains.
women are
Rocks
not
for
stupid?
brains.
Why
Ooh,
aren't you realizing that they're not playing? Why aren't you
rocks for brains.
realizing the games that you played before and the little, the dangles that you do in their face is not working? And just stop. And then
Yes.
I pray and hope that they do sign a CBA, and then I hope they do a clean house because we need some new people at the realm for
I
real.
feel like you said that in the past 4 episodes. You're just like
She's
so,
prefaced it. She's
yeah, you're
saying
like so just
I'm
like
so sold.
standing on
I'm
that.
so standing on that because it doesn't show that you believe in your investment. Bad enough you undersold us anyway. Well, not us, but the players and the league itself, and not realizing how much it was going to grow. So why do you want somebody at the realm who undersells you? I want
Yeah.
somebody that's gonna oversell me. Put the players on a pedestal and put the product on the pedestal, not
Yes.
on the back burner.
C's legit got the fire Kathy sign outside the commissioner's office right now. C's, hey, yo, Kathy Engelbert's got to go. That's C right now to the
Ooh,
top
the
with the
WNBA jingle.
C's out there with the sign. That's the protest. You know how they all got the little chants. That's C right now outside the commissioner's office because he has preference every episode to be like, when all is said and done, we need to clean house. But
It's pitiful. It's so sad because I'm just like, huh? Like even when we've been in places where she answers questions, we're like, what? Why are you so upset? Like, what is going on? Are
well,
you okay?
my favorite one will forever be the draft when they
Oh
asked her
God, she was so pissed.
about Unrivaled paying players more. And speaking of
She
a
was
well-run league, Nussa.
she was pissed. Well, our stadium is bigger.
Yeah,
We
we have
hold
more
more
players.
fans.
No,
I was like,
she was
oh,
hot.
I was like, Kathy,
I wish I had that recorded so we could just cue
just
that up for people.
show
Because
great. You're not
man,
even
I
that
showing
have
was
it.
like you.
I have that recorded, I think.
okay. So if we do
Right.
have it on
Clock
file, if we
it.
do have it on
Yes.
file, folks, you're gonna see that right now.
With Unrivaled, the announcement that Paige Beckers is going to get a 3-year deal with them, and the first year of that, she's going to make more than what she's going to make in her entire rookie salary. I guess I'm just curious, what was your reaction to hearing that, and how does knowing the salaries that players are getting paid in a startup league that lasts only 10 weeks is better than a league that's been around for over 20 years?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think Paige already announced that like 6 months ago, maybe or so. So quite some time ago, I think it was already announced that Paige was signing a 3-year deal with them, had equity in the league. Obviously, I'm really proud of what Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart have thought through with that league. Obviously, I've talked to them. I went and attended back in February, so really proud of what they're doing there. Of course, we'll have, by the time we get done with 16 teams, over 190 players we need to take care of. So I know it's a lot easier to do 30 in one spot. So we obviously travel the world and the US and have a big platform. So I think what the WNBA offers is a huge platform to our players around their corporate partners, around activating. I mean, there's not one ad spot, I think, today, not one sporting event where you don't see an ad spot with a WNBA player in it.
Anyways, speaking of Unrivaled, though, ladies and gentlemen, Dom finally dunked. I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for
I
that.
think it was what's the word for it?
Thank
Underwhelming,
goodness.
is that a word?
I want it to be on somebody's head, though.
Well,
Like,
yes,
Yeah.
but we got to work up to that. We got to
no,
work up
I
to
know
that.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We got it. I was very like, did she just dunk?
We got
Like,
it
did
out the
we just
way.
have our first dunk? Like, what?
The jitters. We got the jitters out the way. We did it. Because
Now, all
I
those
think,
fans that say women don't dunk, I
tell
hope you
them,
was tuned in because
tell
I
them.
think it's just going to continue because other people in practices are dunking.
Well, here's the thing, and this is my thing with the dunking, and I think about this a lot. I realize it's not as effective to try to dunk on somebody than just take a layup when you can. And I feel like because the W is not, or just women's basketball is not in the entertainment, let's shoot 40 footers or dunk the ball sphere that men's basketball is at, they just choose not to try to dunk every chance they get. Up to me, unless you're legit jumping this high above the rim, head at what's the point? Like, because, like, think about it. Like, they show Kiki dunking in practice. Then she got up there. But why run at somebody and try that when I know my layup is more effective? And we're trying to get 2 points here. I mean, because
Right.
even on fast breaks, where there's people that can dunk, like, why waste the time trying something extra that you might miss when you can just get your 2 and keep it pushing?
I just want her to do this after.
I-
That's what I
oh,
think. That's
But
just why I
Unrivaled was
think.
fun.
Oh, I want to dunk. Don't get it twisted. I fully want.
I just want to be like on your head.
Listen.
I just like the spiciness of
Listen,
it.
I am a
Well, I
Connecticut Sun
understand
reporter,
that.
but I am not gonna lie that when Seattle came, I was like, I low-key want to watch her just full-blown yam on somebody. I know I was secretly rooting for her at one point. Like she subbed in the game, and I was like, yo, hit her down low, and I wanted her to just one step and just I wanted
Right?
it. I did want it. I did. At the same time,
I still
is that
want to win the game.
effective? Yeah,
Right.
is
I
that
still want to win the
effective?
game.
Like you're still trying to win. So it's like, is that effective? That's why I feel like they don't dunk as much as they like. Because as respectfully as tall as Dom is, I feel like if she just jumps up, with at least 2 steps of momentum who's going up there. I don't think anybody is. I think she can try to do that every time. But now, unless you're like super confident in like this is my go-to move, why try that when you can just get your free two? But I think also there's a jitters thing behind it because the whole thing with her coming out the draft was like she can dunk, she's 6'5". Like I think there was definitely a jitters thing behind it, and now that she did it, it was like you see the look on her face. She kind of low key part of it was like, "Oh, thank goodness! All right, they can all stop complaining about I haven't seen you dunk yet." Like,
Right.
like
Like, oh dear Lord, finally I did
because
it.
like
I
even
and I
even
made it.
even post the game, she was kind of like, "Yeah, I don't want to be known as just a practice dunker." But that means there was definitely pressure there for her to fully
Hmm.
yam it. So I'm like, now that you got it out of the way,
Maybe we'll get a yam.
maybe we'll actually legit now get
Yeah,
one.
just like when she's not thinking about it, just do it, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
but oh man, that was fun. I'm so glad she finally did it though, because I've been waiting for that. I have. But speaking of the team she dunked on though, something I do want to point out when it comes to the Lunar Hours, even though they've had it rough. Wait, they've had it rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's whew, but
Who to who?
as a she said no,
Anywho.
it's been rough. I'm not even gonna lie and pretend, but for Connecticut's unfaithful, assuming we have a season, seeing Marina and Aaliyah work together makes me very
Looking
optimistic.
good. Looking
Looking
good.
good.
They're the only two people on that team that find a way to put the ball in the hoop, respectfully. Now, I'm not going to go as
Skylar
far.
was on that defense
Yeah. Well,
yesterday, was it?
yeah, well, she was out too for a little bit. So I'm mainly talking about the rest of that team. Now, I'm not going to go as far to be like some people on the internet and be like they don't deserve to be there and role players can't play 3-on-3, but they've had it rough. Like that's just the objective fact. I will say
Well,
though, seeing them two paired up,
I like it.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Muy
yeah.
perfect.
Well, Skylar was on a minutes restriction too, so that
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
that's why I was like, I feel like once if that team at full force, if they had Fee and everybody was, this would be a different conversation. That's just a simple fact. But I will say, like that duo, it definitely gives me full optimism for if we do have a season, especially knowing that Leah only got half a season or not even half a season. It was like a month or something with Connecticut. It was not long.
Right.
So it's like knowing that you're starting to build chemistry with assuming that the rosters stay near the same, one of
Right.
your main players. That is a good look for the Connecticut faithful. Keyword though, if the rosters stay the same, because I know technically this podcast might have some very much a fun, crazy March if free agency goes like it might just go, because yeesh.
It's gonna go,
Well,
you
you know
know?
what? You know what I've thought about it, and all in theory, of course, because we have to wait till CBA gets signed. But technically, there is a world where there's certain players who decide to take per like the percentage of how much they made per last contract a pay cut, but still get paid crazy money to join a different team. Like in for example, I know like the last CBA they mentioned, it was like the max was 750, the minimum's 300K, right? You could technically find a good like savvy vet or role player who's like, I want to go play with Asia Wilson and take 300K minimum. And for them, they're still making way more money than they were the season before. And that might just be crazy. But I in theory, I don't know how true to that.
Right.
Usually it's like, oh, I'm trying to get a little bit of more money. And it went from like 50K to 70. Whereas now, like anything, as long as they sign CBA, anything you're going to make is most likely going to be over what the minimum was last time.
That and also just like what people saying in Unrivaled, like just playing with Chelsea Gray. Like, and
You
it's
see
like,
that? Like in
you know what I
theory,
mean? Just like, okay, I don't even care about that. I want to continue to go here because not only am I winning in the end, I have a possibility to get a championship and possibility for my game to be even better.
but like think about how much that could make free
A team.
agency insane, like insane.
Hmm.
Because if you're like, oh, like I really want to team up with this person now, and the both of y'all decide to be like, let's go this place and each get like 500K, and that's not, and it's double we making last year, but in their books, it's not even puts a crazy hard dent in it. Like
Right.
we could have some crazy teams be built through free
yeah.
agency.
We can.
I mean, like, I
I'm
don't
And
get
I'm here
excited.
for it. So they need to get it together, WNBA.
very much.
Yeah, I'm like so excited. That's one of my favorite parts of the year with WNBA is free agency. Just it's so exciting to
So
see.
many of them.
And
Yes,
that's the thing though,
well, it's the
like
whole league except like rookies. Anyone
the
on a rookie contract, other than that,
that's my
free
thing
agent.
though. the entire league is basically free agents. So, and I dare compare it to like the LeBron and Wade in Miami, like phone calls. Let's just go team up. So like that. The ability for something like that to now happen
It's
Well,
crazy.
they did
is
it last year with some of them,
basically. I know a couple of them
with
did kind of.
Phoenix, Atlanta. Yeah,
So now think about that on a legit scale right now.
Yes, it's like if you think about Atlanta, you have Right Time, you have Alicia Gray, you have Nas Hillman, you have BG, and it's like, okay, they was missing that one other piece. With all these free agents, who knows who they're gonna go out and get?
they're
Well,
recruiting
here's where I think more
down in
funny.
Miami.
Now, I'm just
Hmm.
gonna throw a wild one out there. I don't think it'll happen, but kind of to that, like, oh, let me just call. Technically, like Vegas just won because that to me that's the scariest one because they have like the most power in
Mm.
the we just won and we can
Right.
bring our people back. Asia Wilson played in college with Alicia Gray. What are the odds?
Imagine
What
that.
are the odds that she
Oh,
just calls her,
yo,
let's go team up,
imagine
homie?
Alicia Gray goes to the Aces. Yo, that's insane.
Like, but like
That's
that's
not fair.
not
I'm not watching that. I'm not gonna watch it because that's not fair.
like
That would
So
be
you have
wild.
Alicia Gray, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray,
Jackie Young.
Jackie Young.
But like and that but like
Then
and
you
then
have
Melissa
Dana
Smith.
Evans coming off the bench.
I think she'll probably end up in the expansion draft. They probably won't protect
Mm,
her. But
hmm.
like that's why it's like this offseason will be the most insane offseason ever. And I'm
It
here for the
sucks not
chaos.
seeing her play, to be honest, in Unrivaled.
Yes.
Dana.
Yeah. But I'm like I'm here for the
True.
shenanigans a bit, but it's going to be wild.
Oh, and I can't wait. Why I want it to be like, come on, let's go. We're
Yeah.
so excited. And it's like there's so much like with all the free agency, there's so much the W can market with the way, like with all these different free agencies and with the moves that can possibly made. There's so much that you guys can do, so much, and they just are dumb.
They're only hurting themselves. Whatever.
They are. They are.
Do
So
you
guys,
want
I
the
have to
money? Like,
ask,
do you want the money or no? I just don't get it.
they
'Cause you're
want the
not gonna
money,
have
the
any.
power. They want the money, the power. They
You're
want
not
it
gonna have
all.
both.
But they don't got no respect. I'm sorry, I just think that
No,
song. I
I
fuck
was
with
waiting
it.
for, I hope someone was catching on. Thank you, bro.
What
Thank
you
you.
need in life. Money, power, respect. Anyway, let me
You
stop. Let
feel
me stop. Let
me?
me stop.
But speaking about Unrivaled, who is a player that you see that you didn't think necessarily was gonna like get in the system right away?
Like in Unrivaled, like who's doing
Yes.
what? Oh, doing well. Well, I think my first answer easily is going to be Lee. I feel like that's the easiest. That's the easiest. Like I didn't see that coming. Answer.
Me neither.
I feel like that's the easiest answer. I'm trying to think because now I got to go through. I got to like scan all the clubs in my brain, all the players. But I feel like that's like the my
And
first.
I love Kiki on the Phantom team.
Yes, that you know what that would probably be answer number two. Because
Hmm.
also my thing is, especially when we saw the jumps that players made last year, and we already kind of talked about this a couple episodes back. That's where I'm really excited for the jumps people will make, and I think to that, even though like I said, the Lunar Hours having a rough time, I think Aaliyah Edwards is going to have an amazing season next year, assuming that everybody stays in Connecticut. And I think just because that you've worked with one of the players, you get a full season with everybody. I really do think,
But even just being down there with Sanaya, that chemistry is just going
and that
outside of the
and
court.
I mean you get, and then to me too, like. And this all depends in the free agency sphere where a Tina Charles, if stay or go. 'Cause I think because I'm pretty sure she did say she's going to play next year, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
I
She
don't.
didn't
I
say
I
thought
that.
she
don't.
said that,
But I don't remember, so
but
I
I
Yeah,
wasn't
can.
gonna tweet it because of my little,
Last experience.
yeah, just
yeah.
in case.
But yeah, I'm like 75% confident she said she's going to play next season. But then where does she go? Like who
Right.
that also plays a part in in the free agency sphere because she is a free agent. But assuming that she's still back, I think like Aaliyah will be like kind of that. I'm basically going to sort of like Tina can now be like the bench vet while Aaliyah takes over in the starting lineup is really where I think this team will head next season. I think she's going to make a big jump. Like on paper, I
I
mean,
can see
like
that.
on paper, when you look at the Lunar Hours, like all the injuries, like her showing up doesn't like shock me only because it's like, well, you only had like 4 or 5 people, so you just by default someone had to start putting the ball in the hoop. especially with Fee being out. I'm like,
But
so
even her rebounding has been crazy.
yes, and that's where I'm like, I think we're gonna really make a like, I think she's poised for a big jump in like looking at her stats year to year. I think she's gonna make a big jump in her W numbers. But like on Unrivaled, her stepping up didn't really shock me only because like if you look at that team, like yeah, the only big on that team right now since Fee's out is Elias. It's like, well, if you didn't step up, like
Who
that, it was gonna
wouldn't?
be a lot
Right.
worse. So I for that I can't fully be like, oh, I'm shocked. But like Lee definitely is the one. I'd say her, Kiki, and how well they've been playing, I guess would be on my surprise charts.
I'm not surprised that the way like Paige is dominating because
No.
but just it's just so good to see how like she's like, I'm a young buck, but I belong here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I like.
Well, also too, and I think eerily too, some of the other players coming up, I think of like a Juju as well, assuming that she comes back the same, where the
It's
absolute
gonna be the
score.
greatest comeback ever.
My thing is it's the scoring bag. Even though it's funny because Paige is not like I'm gonna take the ball and go for 40, but like she can do that.
That
That's the
midi
part. Because
man,
I laugh
that mid
like
range.
yeah,
Oh,
like it's her scoring bags is phenomenal. I laugh knowing that like Gino used to be like stop passing the ball so much. Like and like that like cracks me up knowing that like you're almost like a point guard. I'm trying to get everybody involved and you secretly could just take the ball and just score at will. And I think we're seeing a good chunk of that in Unrivaled. And I think in a year two jump, and then especially if per Gabby's theory, Enrique might slip out and go somewhere else. Now it's like the offense is fully in your hands too. I think she will also have a very huge jump, which is weird to say when you win Rookie of the Year, but like I think she's gonna be poised for a huge jump as well. Now thinking
especially with
about
the
it,
assists going up
yeah,
higher. I believe she'll have like
yeah,
being like that level of like contributing to her, like getting her teammates involved, even though
yeah.
she does that, but I think that's gonna go to another level. Just some of the passes we've seen in Unrivaled thus far. And I think the demand in what she has been doing, like that part of her game, like, all right, it's time, I'm gonna take over now.
Well,
Like that
and
part is gonna be there more. I'm not saying that she didn't have it, but I think now she knows it's like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna
well,
take over and get and win.
and to that, I will say, A, definitely you're building more confidence, but also B, when you're on a team where you already have a legit star vet in Enrique, like you can't just snatch the keys of the offense from her. Like that's just not a thing you
Right.
do. So I feel like if Enrique were to leave per se, like I think she would definitely make a huge jump because now it's like we're gonna definitely put the keys to this offense in your hands now. And I think
Right.
that's one of those things with some of those when you get some of those bigger jumps sometimes. And that's why I feel like for Aaliyah, like if Atina leaves or she steps down, or possibly I think Liv Nelson Ododo is probably gonna get taken in the expansion draft. Like now you have to step up kind of thing. And I feel like
Right.
that's where
Right.
Paige will be most effective going into year two in that offense. Especially with a new coach. New coach, they still might, even Enrique's still there, they still might be like, yeah, this offense is Paige Becker's now.
Right.
Enrique,
Yeah.
get to your spot.
I mean, she just has so much in her bag. It's just insane. I mean, yeah, you that's just the type of person you want the ball in their hands. And she needs
Mhm.
to play like that. Like she does play very unselfish at times when she needs to not. And like that's great. Like you're a team player, but like you need to know when it's time to like turn the switch on and like go.
But that's what I think she's learning here at Unrivaled.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
switch. Like, okay, like we're down 15. Let me go ahead and go get 8 real quick.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
it's been a lot of fun. But speaking of Paige's old program, at time of recording, Vanderbilt just lost, so Paige Old School is the only undefeated team in all of NCAA right now, women's basketball. I do pose a question with this team though, and I know we've talked about this a little bit off air, but I figure I bring it here. Do we feel like they need to move out of the Big East?
no,
No, I think it's a Big East problem. I think they need to like, you
teams need
know,
to be better at recruiting.
yeah, and figure out their funding. Don't put it all towards men's sports then. That's not UConn's fault in my
Honestly,
opinion.
they don't just got funding in general compared to these other conferences. That's what that really is. Because if you look at the Big East is really only sort of exists at this point, sort of in basketball anyway. Like most of those schools are in other sports are just in like because like UConn and football is legit independent. Like and I just know that from college sports. Like they all join different conferences. So when it comes to now like this a school wide thing, they just don't got the funding to compete with these said other schools. Because I remember we were talking about this when we talked about off air. Like the reason why UConn is still UConn is because they were UConn before the NIL and all the
Hmm.
hoopla. Like that's why you can still get the top people in the nation because well everybody else that's been top in the nation has now played there. Like you don't think I put it like this, like even how like Sarah Strong was the other day was on I think it was AZ Fuzz podcast was like oh I looked up to Maya Moore and it's like so now you want to go play at the school she played at like that's a thing you can do. Whereas like these other schools don't really have too many huge names to benefit off, you know? And especially so I feel like as much as like it just looks crazy within like women's basketball for UConn, across the board, it's they like this those same schools they're in the council just can't compete.
I just
Yeah, but the men's side are fine. The men's
Yeah,
are
right.
but
It's
competitive.
if you
just
look at it, the men's UConn program is nowhere near. Like, I mean, they had a couple good little recruits and one back to back, but that was like a kind of a flash in the
yeah, it's
pan
not the
moment.
same dynasty that Gino
Yeah, like
has
whereas
at
like
UConn.
respectfully, UConn's women's team is shoot in to win that Big East conference pretty much every year and be a top 10 team in the nation every year.
I mean, yeah, but my thing is like that's see, this goes to the point like when people talk about it, it's like, but do you even watch the Big East? Like you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there have been plenty of times that there's been people that tested just because UConn always comes out on top and wins the Big East tournament. I don't necessarily think that it's always been where they've been blown up. You get what I'm saying? Like it's never been
No.
do you get what I'm saying? So it's not like that when they're in the Big East. Yeah, they win, they make it to the championship game. But there have been teams in the Big East that have competed with UConn. Maddie Seacrest went to Villanova.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Last year in the big when Georgetown had Ranson on their team, they gave UConn a run for their money last year. So it was just like just because UConn came on top and won, yes, schools have to get better at recruiting in the Big East, but I also think that it's a lot of people that don't necessarily watch the other schools in the Big East, so you have no idea what type of players that they have in the Big East.
Fair. And then also my other thing I would say with UConn is I think like every team gets their moment too. I also would say this is UConn's kind of like they got a really good squad going in this moment. Because if you look until they won last year, they didn't win for a little while. Like if you look at every program in the last 10 years, I would argue South Carolina in the last decade has been more successful than UConn. But like I think what escapes people is because like they've just sold their prolonged dominance. But like I think this is just one of those like they're gonna be good like I'm arguing they're gonna be very elite until Sarah Strong goes, and then I think they'll probably take a little bit of a step back because even if you look at like those couple years, like USC had the best recruit, and I know like this year, like South Carolina got Jersey coming, like so I think what it's gonna be is just right this minute, this team is just this is just their year in the Big
Right.
East, and it just looks worse on paper, which makes people bring this up, which why I figure we bring it up here, but I think on like a wide scale with this NIL and who's going to get money. Like I think eventually UConn will sort of kind of like fall back into the Big East and it'll be a little more even comp. Just because, like you said, when it comes to the funds and the money, like just those schools cannot compete with those bigger schools. Like the SEC is and the Big Ten are legit like just NIL monsters. Like it's just what it is. And I feel like it just eventually, because even to the point of we're going to talk about soon is talking about like teams that make the NCAA tournament. If you look at those big four conferences, they all got at least seven teams in there. The Big East had two. Like they pretty much had the whoever wins your tournament, you get your automatic bid, and really nobody
Mm-hmm.
else. Like the Ivy League had more at-large people than
Mm-hmm.
the Big
Yeah, they
East.
did. They had three last year.
Like, and that's just one of those. I feel like it's just one of the like UConn just on a hot streak, and they just got a really good team this year, and they're coming off a national championship, so they just make on paper make it look like there's a bigger gap than there really is in.
You know what I'm saying? Because when people think of when we're talking about who's playing in competition, just like when teams make the NCAA, these people don't have no idea who they are like, oh, they go with the powerhouse schools. That's all
Yeah,
half of the time that's all people actually know. So when they're like three Ivy League schools get in, it's like, do you know what they did
yeah.
all year around? And it's like, no, they don't.
No,
So
I
then like
mean,
why they have three schools in and another school's in and get it and they have a better no, they don't have a better team. You just think so because they have a bigger program.
yeah.
And
I
it's like,
mean,
no.
I'll say in all honesty myself, like when I was a kid and you could fill out your bracket, filling out of just what you know. I mean, with the men, just because the whole Cinderella story thing is so much bigger, you try to pick
Right.
some different teams. With the women, I used to just be like, all right, who do I know? Who do I trust? Like as a kid, as my cousin went to Tennessee, as you see, so I used to pick them every year. I would trust them. I would trust Baylor as Brittany Griner was there. I remember them. I trust South Carolina, Don Staley years. Like you just trust the bigger programs. And I remember that. So I'm like, there's people who still do that thing. Because you look at those like when UConn won, like a whole bunch of people picked them because like yeah, that's all you know. So you go with and you follow
But
what
you
you
know, yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I feel like too, like there's definitely a bit of a since UConn has like the legacy namesake and they're just on a good hot streak right now because they're beating these teams by 20 plus every time. Everybody's like they need to get out of there. But I'm also like they've also beat teams out of their conference by like 20 plus. So I feel like
It doesn't matter
it
who
really
you're
doesn't
playing
it really doesn't
right
matter.
Yeah.
now.
It kind of like
Right.
I think I looked at it the other day because it might have changed. But when I did, they only had two games where they didn't win by 20. But they've played out of conference games more than two of them. So it's like, and like the one of the games was Michigan, but Michigan's also seventh in the nation. So it's like, all right, duh, that's not gonna be a 20-point blowout, or else that'd be
Right.
there'd be a problem. And I think it might have been like Ohio State or something, who's like 12. So it's like, yeah, when you play another ranked team, we have good competition. So it's like they're still beating teams though. So I feel like that's just one of those combos that are just blown out of proportion per
Yeah,
se.
but
But
even just like when I was doing post game with Coach Reese from URI, and she's like, I don't care about an AP ranked team poll. I want to get the net ranking so that way I can get,
yeah,
a seat in the NCAA tournament.
yeah. At this point,
So it's like these people get so, oh, they're ranked, they're not ranked. These schools don't care about that right now, especially the lower level, like the
no, the mid
20
majors.
and more. Like they don't care about that. They want to make sure their net ranking is secured because they can have 11 game winning streak and then they lose to someone who has a net ranking of 200. That brings them all the way down.
Well, also too that you winning your conference get you an automatic bid. So most
Right,
teams,
right.
your focus is literally just on the getting the automatic bid. Like that's where your focus should be
Mm-hmm.
anyway. And I mean, because even to like, and that's why I think what's so funny with like the Vanderbilt South Carolina game. I'm like, that's for. I mean, granted, Vanderbilt. I don't know. They must have forgot they had a game because that was crazy.
They was not ready today.
It was
They
a
was not.
blowout. It was not. It didn't look pretty.
It
It was
looked
not good
awful.
basketball for Vandy. They wasn't moving the ball well. They just was not playing what they do
We
at
were all
all.
falling asleep.
Missing defensive switches. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It was
Listen,
horrible. And I feel like they lost that game in the first 2 minutes of the ball game.
oh, they did. I hate to be that guy.
3 steals in 56 seconds.
Listen.
And they scored on each one.
I will say personally, I had that in the Patriots game on. I legit looked the Patriots game and looked back and they were down 10. I said, what happened? I didn't look away
And
for
Tanaya
that
Latson
long.
said, I'm tired of you saying I went to South Carolina for the wrong reasons. Oh, she had herself a game today on both ends.
I mean, she already proved she can score.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Like
like, guys. She wants
the
to
film
learn
proves
how
I
to
can
play
score.
defense. That's what she wants to learn how to do.
I
But she
think
didn't do that.
I think people don't understand because I think it's a scoreboard watching as a society where I think we don't realize like, yeah, everybody can go put the ball in the hoop. We need to do more than just shoot the ball well. I feel like for Latin, like her going to South Carolina was proven like, yeah, I can do more than just be a number one scorer on a team that, because did they even make the tourney last year? I feel like if they did, they weren't in there long.
Florida State.
I don't think they did they? Or if
No.
yeah, I was like, I don't. So I'm like, you got to prove you can be a legit piece of a team on a bigger squad. Like, that's why she did that. Because we
Yeah,
already
and she wants
proved.
to learn how to play defense. It's like if I'm
Yeah.
trying to make it to the next level, I can't just score.
Yeah,
And
that's
Being a
not
team
gonna.
evident.
player is
Yeah,
important.
that's not gonna just only doing one thing ain't gonna get you there. Especially in a
Mm-mm.
league when you don't like. And if there was a league where we had 30 teams or something in a development league, then okay, this would be a little bit of a different conversation.
Or you can score ridiculously, and
Yeah,
that's
or
not
you're averaging 40, where it's like this is
right.
legit nuts. It's
Like
like
you're doing what my girl's doing.
yeah, I mean, legit, you're averaging 25. Nothing wrong with that. Top of the nation, cool. But it's like, all
Right.
right, we're gonna need more than that because
Hmm.
there's six people behind you that can also score 25.
And they also can defend, and they also can
Yeah,
do
like
this well. What are you gonna do as well as score? So I'm just like that, and that's what I hate because I'm like, guys, you are not watching the entirety of the NCAA at all.
Mhm.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then to South Carolina, though, I mean, like I said, that's my bold claim. I think they've been more successful than UConn in the last decade, and I think people forget that because UConn won last year and in the way they did win last year. But like Dawson is still running a really good program, and I know like that's my like if I'm gonna pick a squad to really be a fandom of, I rock with Don, and
Hmm.
I feel like people really did forget for a second, like who they were after they lost Oklahoma and had that one loss early. Like I think the world forgot a little bit that like South Carolina is still like that, and I'm
But
really
this is the way they play today. That's the team I'm usually seeing from South Carolina.
yes,
The
Yeah.
way they played today. And I haven't seen them play the way they played today a lot this season. Yes, they have won, but they haven't played like that.
and that's why I think the world forgot like
Right.
they have a squad. Also, I think what really makes them better and
Joyce
some of these other
looks so
programs.
good.
I think it makes them look better in some of these other programs too is the discipline because I can't lie, even I get caught in it sometimes where you have an open shot and I'm like, shoot it, and they wait two more passes and there's a way better shot they get. Like that team in the discipline, like I think that goes unspoken for. I know UConn's another one that's like really, when you get those good like programs, like they're really good for that. Because there was a couple times my homie Mouse McDaniel. I was just like, shoot that. Like, I was like, you open. And she was just waiting, found somebody down low. I was like, yeah, see, she stuck to the script. Because
But sometimes
I know
in
me, I'd
games,
have
I
been,
feel like that's how you lose when your shot selection is horrible.
yes.
And that could be and that could be the only thing. So I think have some people can deal with the standard and some people just can't. Like that's what I said on my podcast today that I enjoy seeing Fu Wiley with LSU because I get to see her work through her mistakes on the court. You know what I'm saying? So I said that, and then sometimes programs work for you and sometimes programs don't. But
Well, and that's the thing too. I think people forget sometimes is like certain teams and coaches and players just work together.
hmm
And I
Mhm.
feel like as much as like I'm a South Carolina person, like I feel like for Hawaii is great. I feel like it just some of that it just didn't work there was all.
right. And that's okay.
It's perfectly fine.
hmm
I think of it like think about how many different W players played on like three teams before they got to a team, and it's like this is where they're at. Like we were just talking about how great Alicia Gray's been as an MVP candidate, but like she had a couple stops before she got to Atlanta, and I think people forget that.
Yeah,
Like
she
so,
did.
like sometimes it takes a couple stops before
Dallas.
it takes a couple stops before it works. Sometimes, And
hmm
Yep.
I think people sort of forget that in the grand scheme of things, which is I'm like, I think Full and LSU just works better.
I like it. So I'm
But
here for it.
speaking of the SEC, I know we're getting closer to March, and we were talking about this as a group, so I figured I'd bring it up to the table of who could possibly make the NCAA tourney. So what I did, because as I said earlier, you get your conference champion for each conference gets in. So there's 31 conferences, but then you get at-large bids. So I think it's very simple to try to guess out the wild who's going to win each conference, especially with those bigger schools. But when you look at those at-large bids, I have four teams, about one per each conference, where they're kind of like right on the cusp of trying to make it if the season ended today. So we'll start with the
Okay.
SEC. And just for reference, 10 SEC teams made it last year, right?
Oh God.
Wait. So currently sitting there in ninth right now is Oklahoma. So now the question is for the group, do we think they will sort of get further up the SEC or possibly fall apart and make the tourney?
I think they're gonna make the tourney.
I think they're gonna make the tourneys, like especially like the other day. The confidence now.
hmm
Yeah,
Okay.
they're
Well,
making the tourney.
all right, it's gonna get more comfortable. I started with them because that was like the easier one because I think they will too. But if you look at it though, like because now you're looking at it depends on like which conference and what
But this
year,
is when the net rankings come into play.
and that's what it really is because it's less about where you play now. It's just like your overall record and where you placed,
hmm
and that's why it's like it could get very iffy. But right now they're kind of like in position to be fine. Plus,
hmm
technically, any Cinderella conference championship run could do you in because I think that's how was it Duke in the ACC women's last year that how they got in? 'Cause there was a school, there was somebody like that who was like they weren't supposed to win their conference and they snuck in. I think it was Duke in the ACC, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
forgot last year, but they just had a crazy end of the year run.
Like I think it was
Was it Duke?
I think it was Duke that won the ACC because I think Notre Dame
Yes,
and
yes, with
yeah, because
Reagan. With
yes,
Reagan.
because
Yep.
Notre Dame and NC State were ranked higher. Yep. So there we
hmm
go. Well, funny enough, speaking of the ACC, I had to throw my who I think is the best defender in the nation in there because what's funny is last year they had 8 ACC teams. Currently sitting in 10th is Notre Dame. So now the question is, do y'all
I don't
have
think they're gonna no.
Oh, see, he was quick with it.
I say no because it's a one player team pretty much, in my opinion. I mean, there's a couple other players that sometimes show up, but there's a little bit of an inconsistency. But even a couple of their starters, I'm iffy about. I'm like, these are your best five
They just
players.
lost to Clemson. That does not help their net ranking.
It
Yeah,
does
And
they
not.
it's not anything to what Clemson does. And this has
Oh,
nothing to do, but based on the numbers, this loss does not help them.
no, it definitely didn't.
Mhm.
As I said, as of right now, they're sitting
It's
at
looking
10th.
rough.
Wait, they're sitting at 10th.
I
Ninth
don't think they're
is
gonna
wait,
I
and
don't think
ninth
they
is Clemson now. They're 5-4 in conference play. They're 13-7 overall.
isn't Duke at one?
Duke's at 2 because Louisville's at 1.
Oh yeah, Louisville's at
They're both
one.
undefeated in a conference
Defeated, but
play. Louisville got the
Louisville has the
better,
better net ranking. Yep.
yeah, better record. They're ninth. Duke's 21st. NC State is third, just to give you a little. But yeah, they're currently 10th. Now, where I'm gonna hold out just a slither of hope for Notre Dame is in their conference championship play, because if you can make a little bit of a Cinderella run in that conference championship, which we've seen before, as we just said, Duke kind of did it last year, I think it's possible. But my confidence is real shaky right now because, to your all point, it is very much and her dog go and her dog gets, as I say to y'all very often. That's what I nicknamed that team
Hmm.
because it's. I mean, even you look at the game today, like she had 30 and 8 steals. I'm like, she's pretty much probably responsible for that. And then with the six, like you're pretty much responsible for half our team's points. Like it's
Yeah.
how
And then it's just like it won't be enough to say it ends up being Louisville and Notre Dame. That you just don't have enough, I would say, power on your team to the way Louisville has been playing. I
well,
just
and at that point, I don't expect them to win their conference championship. But if they can, if per last year, about eight
oh
teams get
yeah.
in, I think they can make enough of a run further into the tournament and try to at least
But
sneak
they
in as a
can't
top.
lose to any more teams that
And that's where it gets a little like pretty much at this point, you sort
you
of
have to
need to
win everything.
you pretty much have to maybe I'm gonna go look at their schedule before I say what I'm gonna say, but I think they probably can spare maybe at best like one more loss because they
To
don't
who?
well, here's the thing, they play Louisville at the very end, so that's the
Okay,
one.
that's
Like I'm
good.
like, if they get beat by Louisville at their last game season, that Louisville's
That's
ninth.
fine.
But it's kind of like the rest of these games. They're not playing anybody ranked in their conference. I think the scariest team there would be NC State. So I guess
Hmm.
maybe two because you lose to teams bigger than you. So cool. But pretty much
But
they
what
need
I'm
to.
saying is if they can't, I know they played Pitt already, but they can't lose to Pitt. They can't lose to Boston
Well, I'll put it
College.
like this. What is at the time you're seeing this video, most likely it's in a couple days. With Thursday the 29th, they play Cal. Cal's got a worse record than them. They lose to Cal. This conversation's null and void. You can
But my
almost.
thing is like, okay, but for Cal, they might want to beat them. And if
Oh,
they,
but
so
that's
it's like you're scouting because I'm a big fan of Cal.
no, yeah, they got a nice little
And
program.
and if they come and figure out a way to stop Hannah,
Which is kind of what you got to do.
who will
Yeah.
step up? We have not seen it consistently from Notre Dame for the others to step up.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of teams who have one star player, this team got two, in my opinion. Iowa State in the Big 12. There, seven teams made it from the Big 12 last year. Iowa
They'll
State,
get
after
him.
their slide, they're currently 11th.
They'll get him.
I think they will too, because
I think Iowa State will get him.
I think aside from TCU in that conference, I think they have a good shot at getting every other team in that conference.
Hmm. And I
Which
think after the 4 game losing streak, I don't know when Addie Brown is coming back. That's a big piece of their offense as well.
that is true.
But I think after Jada having her 44-point game,
That was insane.
I
Yeah.
think not only is I think the losing made them closer.
Yes,
Mhm.
The
like
losing and everything that's been going on around Iowa State has made them a bit closer chemistry wise as a team. And I think after that win, we're gonna see them back in the winning
column. They're
column.
gonna get in the win column for sure. I think.
So I think Iowa State will be fine.
Yeah. To your point, I think sometimes taking a good couple losses on the chin does something in some adversity, which that team I mean, at
needed.
least, yeah, I think they did need that. So far we got two in, one out kind of thing with because we got Oklahoma, Iowa State, they're gonna be good. Notre Dame, iffy. Now
Hmm.
for the Big Ten, and I feel like this was a very fun one because I know this is gonna hurt C personally a little bit,
Nope.
but
Nah.
oh, wait, who am I gonna say? Who am I gonna say?
USC.
How'd you know? You read my
Because you
mind.
said I'm gonna be hurt. And like I say all day long, it's been a struggle watching USC
Yeah,
because
it's
they're
been
so much better than what their record shows. And it's like they just can't figure it out how to close out a game.
well, I also think that I hope like I don't get hate for this, but I have I think it might be a little bit of coaching too.
Oh yeah, we've said that
You
all the
know,
time. We said that all
He
the
said
time,
you say nothing
Coach.
but a word, yo. I'm
Yeah,
crying.
I don't care.
I
She pisses
just
me off sometimes. And it's not
I
even
just
like
there's no adjustments made sometimes.
ever,
My dad and I
ever.
we were watching, the game where they played UConn and we're like, what did she do? She didn't change
Nothing.
anything.
She didn't change anything. And it's like you're leaving it up to your star player right now, Jazzy, to make her own in-game adjustments,
She's a
which is great to see.
freshman.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly. So she's making her own in-game adjustments, and we see it, and it's like, bro, what are you gonna do for the team?
Yeah, like Juju's coaching her on the sideline. It's not even like their own coach.
It's just like, oh God, it's
I was
been a
like, what
struggle.
is going
Oh
on?
my word.
Please, they
It's
really need
been a
Juju.
struggle, and they're good on their defense when they're locked in. Like today, they were losing to Michigan early, and they came back and made a run. That's why I asked what the score was because when I watched it, they were up by 3
Hmm.
when I looked back at it. So then I'm like, okay, well, can they close out the game? And that's a question I always have.
And they only lost to Michigan by 7 points, and Michigan's seventh ranked. So there's a bit of a conversation there. I will say, just for the numbers' sake, they are currently 13th in their conference,
Hmm.
3-6 in conference play. 12 teams made it last year in the Big Ten.
Oh
So
wow.
there's
They can make a run,
there's
and
a
that's
little
a
room.
little possibility, but it won't be like how if we were talking about this last year. Oh, they're in.
Yeah, no.
You know what I
Last
mean?
year they're not on
Yeah,
this list. They're not even on the list last year.
yeah.
So yeah. I laugh about that. I will say for the teams that C local league still covers, technically if we're going off of last year, both your teams would be in right now because those three Ivy League teams and Brown is
Hmm.
third in conference play and Rhode
Hmm.
Island is leading their conference. So
Hmm.
C might be doing some March Madness coverage for real.
So if Princeton's in for sure. That's
Oh
never
yeah,
Princeton always
I
gets
mean they're
in.
ranked right now and
Yeah, Princeton always gets in. I don't know if we'll have 3 teams this year because Harvard does not have Harmony Turner, your girl.
that is very real. Yes, shout out to Army
So
Harmony.
I think it will be Princeton getting in, possibly well getting in off of net rankings. Even
Yeah,
you know
they're
what I'm
ranked
saying?
right now, so
Exactly. So they'll get in, and then if someone can sneak and win Ivy Madness, then we'll have Ivy League will have 2 schools in. As far as for A10, yeah, I because
yeah,
between Richmond and URI,
yeah.
Maddie Dugan, man, that girl, shit.
She
You don't
said
know who Maddie Dugan is from Richmond? Please go see
she
who that.
said if you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Please.
But now to my favorite part of being asked things. Speaking of asking, C, take it away. Yeah.
All right, guys. So
Mm.
gotta go to my notes because I came so prepared for this, but.
Hooray.
We are going to start with rapid fire. I tried to make this one a little bit more fun so it's not like so bad for you guys. So
Now
we're gonna,
remember, 5 seconds. All right,
I
let's
know, I remember.
okay.
I'm gonna
5 seconds. Please and thank you.
go. All right, rapid fire. First one, best dress in the W. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Olivia
Olivia
Nelson
Nelson
Ododa.
Adota.
I was thinking that. I was literally thinking that. I was thinking that. I'm telling you. She has a whole
She
clothing
has
brand,
her
the whole
own.
thing.
Yes,
Yes.
she also has her own fashion
Like she puts it
line.
down. She puts it down.
I was not expecting that. I was
Me and
not
Gabby are locked
expecting
in.
that. Okay,
Me and Gabby are locked in.
guys,
You
that just
heard
shows
me?
you we're locked in. Okay.
Locked in.
If you had 2 seconds on the clock, you can only choose one player to get you a bucket, either in the NCAA or the WNBA. Who are you gonna get? 5, 4, 3,
Nah, you know
2,
it.
1.
Asia Wilson.
Paige Beckers.
Woo!
Nah.
I thought you was gonna say AZ, to be honest. Okay. So I decided to do for Stop Bench Cut today that we were gonna do based on this award.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to do a stop bench cut for the Don Stanley Award. And if you guys don't know what the Don Stanley Award is,
Oh,
it
no.
is given to a player who exemplifies the skills that Dawn possessed throughout her career. Ball handling,
Oh, no.
scoring, and her ability to distribute the basketball and her will to win. So I'm going to start with when this first came a thing. So we're going to start at 2017. It started in 2013, but I decided to go with these three players.
Okay.
We're going to have 2017 Kelsey Plum, 2018 Kelsey Mitchell, and 2019 Asia Durr. Start bench cut.
Oh.
All right. I'ma just go with my gut here and start Mitchell, bench Plum, and cut Durr.
I am going to I'm gonna start. We're talking about them like in college.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's why I put the year.
I'm
Oh.
gonna start Kelsey Plum, bench Asia Durr, cut Kelsey Mitchell.
Oh, that's why I sounded insane.
That's why I was like, you cut Asia?
Oh. Well, I'm staying on business, but
See,
that's-
That's
oh
what
my
I'm
gonna stand on
God.
business, but
At Louisville, she went crazy.
as you can see the look on my face, I didn't think about. I'm thinking about now.
Sorry. That's why I put the year. I said the year.
No, you did, and it didn't. I was like, oh, they won the award that year. Anyway, I'm starting with Kelsey. Like that was.
He's standing on business, guys.
I'm gonna stand on business. Come get me comments, but
We have the same,
You know-
Gabby. So
Oh, really?
we're locked. Yeah.
Lock,
All right.
lock for
So
life.
so because we're on the ball handlers, we're gonna go start bench cut. Courtney Vandersloot, Chelsea Gray, and who is my last one? This is crazy. I put a letter. So we're gonna go.
What's the letter?
I'm like, what did I go here?
we're having
So
technical difficulties, folks. Here we
you
go.
know, so we're gonna just go with Sloot, Chelsea Gray. Okay, I gotta think one on the fly. Oh, Enrique. That's who I had. So start bench cut, Slooty, Enrique, and Chelsea Gray.
That guy's a point guard.
Yeah, we'll handle it, guys. Yes.
All right. Well, I could say I'm gonna cut Vandersloot. I'm gonna be honest. I am. I'm not gonna lie to myself and pretend I'm not.
Okay.
So who you starting?
That's the.
Chelsea or Enrique?
I'm gonna start Enrique. I'm gonna start Enrique. I'm gonna start Enrique. Yeah, you make that face. Gabby said, "Ooh."
So she's like the point guard.
I'm bench Chelsea. I'm bench Chelsea. Two weeks in a row, we're benching Chelsea.
Okay. She's coming for you. I'm gonna tell her.
Right.
She
plays on Friday.
Whoa, let's not.
I'm like, by the way, he's the one who cut you.
You know what? Don't y'all start mess
Oh,
around
he's
at
an ops.
Philly Unrivaled. Y'all gotta just have me under the bus. That's wicked. That's wicked.
Gabs.
I'm gonna start Chelsea Gray. Where are they? Oh, I'm gonna bench Courtney Vandersloot and cut Enrique Gumbalani.
See,
I like that pick.
What have you had done? See.
Oh, I am going to start Chelsea Gray, and I am benching Enrique, and I'm cutting Vandersloot.
See,
I know. I had to make the look crazy. I had to,
You were like,
know.
I'm like, don't scare
Well,
me like that.
we at the end of
I
the
already
day,
No,
we
I
do.
just think about like Vandersloot with like Elena Deladon and like
oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
you're right.
Like
Gabby.
I know. Well, she's older now, so
No, I know.
obviously
I
she's
mean,
slowed down.
I should have said in the prime, guys. Sorry.
Well, that was
that
implied. I just for me,
Okay.
I was thinking about like because she is legit like true point guard, and I get that, but I was like, all right, like Enrique can create her own shots, so can Chelsea. Like, and
I love
Mhm.
you,
they
true point
legit,
guard.
they legit. Oh,
Absolutely.
I do too. I do too. Every team.
That's why
needs
we're
one.
big fans of Hallie.
Yes, as she knows, I'm a Halliburton guy. Love a true point guard. But also, it's like, all right, if we're doing start bench cut, it's like one player. It's like, well, I'm gonna need someone who could score first before I need a true point guard. Now, if we're building a team, I purposely put a true point guard at my one, but that's you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So,
See,
yeah.
guys, it wasn't too bad this week.
It was not too bad. Well,
was not
I
too
mean,
bad.
besides my mishap,
Yeah,
not
you
reading
went a
the
little
reading,
easier.
I
not
did
reading
do
the
a little
fine
easy. I
print.
did fun this week. I did fun. I
Yeah.
did fun. But
Besides,
I cannot, guys, I cannot believe you guys picked the same
That was
best dress.
crazy.
I'm telling you,
Crazy.
She
I was
put
not
it on.
expecting that.
She
You
put it
already
on.
know who I'm
Voila.
picking.
Yeah, Tiffany Hayes to support,
Because
and the crowd
she-
pretends to be surprised.
We also talked about that. Like we talked
Yes,
about
that was a
this.
whole
No, I
thing.
know.
Like,
I know.
So,
But yeah,
I
took
did.
it
I
right. knew
cannot
guys-
lie. I did entertain Sanaya and Anissa. I did, but I was like, I gotta go Liv because
Mhm.
Liv just
She be putting on. She do.
putting it on. Like got the whole brand.
But it's just so much. There's Skylar, there's Duana, there's
Ooh, I didn't think about
Kit.
Skylar.
There's so many. That's why I thought who you were picking. I'm like, I was
there's
like, is it?
Nika. Nika was so good. her
Yes,
year.
there's so many.
God, Skylar.
So that's
Not changing
why.
my answer. I'm gonna stand on business once again. But
All right, Liv. We need some clothes.
why? I don't think I'm wearing it.
I mean, we she got to drop a men's line.
Yep. I wear t-shirts and sweatpants. Please and thank you. But all right, folks. Thank you for watching. This has been 97 to Infinity. See y'all next week.